Good morning, it's Jackie from Phoenix Coaching. It's September 28th, 2020, and this is your mindful moment for today. So as you can see, we're in a different spot now. This is another part of my office, and there are two reasons that we are using this particular spot for today's video. The first is the sign behind me, which I'll show you in just a second. The second, I'm going to share with you at the end of the video, and this one is going to be a little bit longer probably than most. So stick with me until the end and I'll share with you the other reason for this. So the first is the sign. So it says, happiness is not a destination, it is a way of life. So there's something that's been on my mind quite a lot the last week or two. This idea of this like false positivity. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know, like fake it till you make it and all of that, and just wish for things and they'll show up. And you know, there's truth to, there's nuggets of truth in all of that stuff, but there's more to it, right? So I got some bad news last week. I have this problem with my sinuses that requires surgery. I've mentioned it before, but I haven't really said a whole lot. So how this is showing up in my world is that, you know, I've got almost a constant headache. I have been on medication almost constantly for the last year for a chronic sinus infection that just will not go away because this thing needs to be taken out. And yeah, so it's not been terribly easy. In fact, most of the time I don't feel very well at all. But I got the news from the surgeon's office last week. I thought that I was on a cancellation list, so I've just been sitting here, you know, hoping and praying that my phone's going to ring and they're going to call and say tomorrow we can fit you in. And I found out last week that it could be up to a year before this is taken care of. COVID has really impacted a lot of us, hasn't it? And, you know, medical stuff is being delayed everywhere, and that's unfortunately where we're at. So that didn't make me terribly happy. At the same time, there are some really amazing things that are happening in my world. And yeah. So I think for me, the trick really is all about gratitude and recognizing what's going right as opposed to worrying about what's not going right. Doing the best we can in the moment. Like there's so much learning, right? There's so much learning. But that sign, that happiness is not a destination. You know, I used to be in a space where it was like, okay, well, when this happens, then I'll be happy. When I get that thing, I'll be happy. And I made a choice a long time ago to focus on the things that, number one, I can control, which, you know, there aren't very many really. Focus on the stuff I can control. Focus on the stuff I can do something about. And yeah. So here's the thing. What I want to talk to you about is this idea of where we focus our attention. So I could very easily go into a space of, oh my God. And I have my moments, you know, we've all had our moments this year. COVID's been tough. But what I choose to do most days is to focus on the blessings, focus on the great things, focus on the things that I have control over. Because otherwise I'm wasting my energy, and right now I don't have an excess of energy. So learning how to focus, and really what a blessing, right? Having to sort of shift my thinking and learn how to do things differently has been a real blessing in my world. So there really are some great things. So that's the thing. Don't focus on the false positivity. There's a word, but I don't even know if I'm using it right. Focus on the stuff that you have to be grateful for. Focus on the people and places and things and whatever it is in your world that is wonderful. That is the thing that happens with this making a choice to be happy. Yeah. So, and now part two. Part two is one of those things that I have to be grateful for is the radio show that I've been doing for the last few months. It is actually shifting into, we're going to be incorporating video, and I don't quite understand all of it, but this is going to be the space that I record the video, because I love this sign behind me and I love the wall behind me, and you know, yeah. So how great is that? Like, how great is that, right? I wouldn't have started doing these videos, and I wouldn't have started doing the radio show if COVID hadn't hit when it did. So focusing on your blessings and focusing on your gratitude is where that sense of happiness from within comes from. Focusing on that instead of the things that we can't control and we can't do anything about. So that's what I've got for you this morning. I'm Jackie from Phoenix Coaching. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. And I will see you tomorrow.